Okay guys, today we're going to go back and we're going to go over everything we've done so far with ratios. Okay, so we're going to start with creating ratios. So we're just writing ratios based on situations we're given. So the first one says, for homework, Olivia had to complete 15 problems. She completed 6. What is the ratio of problems she still has to complete to completed problems? So if altogether she needed to do 15 problems and she's completed 6, my ratio is problems she still has to complete to the one she has completed. So first I have to figure out how many problems does she still have to complete. So I should do 15 minus the 6 she's completed to get 9 left over. And then I'm going to write my ratio. So remember, we can write ratios in several forms. I usually do fraction form. So the top number should be what comes first. So problems she still has to complete, which is what we just figured out. So that should be 9. And on the bottom, the second part, which is completed problems. And it says she completed 6. So 6 goes on the bottom. So my ratio is 9 to 6. Now, sometimes they'll ask for the simplified ratio. And if they were to do that here, we can simplify this. And we simplify by dividing the top and the bottom by the same number. So I can divide 9 and 6 by 3, which gives me 9 divided by 3 is 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that's my answer. All right, see if you can do this one. Caleb had 136 songs on his phone. He deleted 56. What is the ratio of deleted songs to the total number of songs he started with? So 136 total, deleted 56. I want the ratio of deleted to total number. So you should have done 56 over 136. And then however you started with your simplifying, if you did simplify, you can start with 2 because they're both even. Or you can go to 4. I'm going to use 8 because that's the biggest number you can divide both by. Either way, your answer should still be, in the end, even if you had to simplify several times, 7 over 17. That's the simplified version. You can't simplify anymore once you get there. All right, see if you can do the third one. The library checked out 52 books. If 24 of the books were fiction, what was the ratio of fiction to nonfiction books checked out? So checked out 52 in total. 24 were fiction. We want the ratio of fiction to nonfiction. So just like in this one, there's something I have to figure out. And for this problem, I have to figure out the number of nonfiction. So I need to do the total 52 minus the fiction, which leaves 28 to be nonfiction. So I'm putting fiction first. Fiction was 24. Nonfiction second, because that comes second, which is 28. And I can simplify this by dividing by 4 to get 6 to 7. All right? So that's the review on writing or creating ratios. So next we're going to talk about equivalent ratios. Okay? So this is just where you have to figure out what are you dividing by or what are you multiplying by to get an equivalent ratio. And remember, with ratios, we're always multiplying or dividing. We don't ever add or subtract. So for the first one, I have 72 to 64 is equal to 9 to what? So remember, the first ones go together and the second ones go together. So if I go from 72 to 9, I'm getting smaller. So that means I multiply or divide. If you said divide, you're correct. So to go from 72 to 9, that means we divided by 8. And if I divide by 8 for the first one, I need to do the same for the second. And 64 divided by 8 should give you an answer of 8. So now let's see if you can figure this one out. All right, so something to 7 needs to be equal to 8 to 14. So 7 goes with 14 because they're both second. So 7 to 14 gets bigger, so I should multiply. 7 times 2 is 14, so I can say what times 2 gives me 8, or I can say 14 divided by 2 gives me 7, so what's 8 divided by 2? And it's 4, because 4 times 2 is 8. All right, and the last one, I'll let you do it. And you should have gotten 18, because 7 times 9 is 63, so 2 times 9 is 18. All right, then it says a classroom had 35 glue sticks. If the ratio of glue sticks to glue bottles was 5 to 2, how many glue bottles did the classroom have? So, if I'm comparing glue sticks to glue bottles, I'm going to put glue sticks on top, GS, and glue bottles on the bottom. And that ratio was 5 to 2. So if glue sticks comes first, that means 5 is glue sticks and 2 is glue bottles. Then it tells me that there were 35 glue sticks. So now should that go on the top or the bottom? If you said the top, you're right. So now it's just the proportion, which we've done for many days now. So all we need to do is cross multiply and divide. And guys, you should be saying this in your sleep. Cross multiply, divide, cross multiply, divide. Always, always, always. So if you do 35 times 2, divide by 5, you should get an answer of 14. So there should be 14 glue bottles. All right, the ratio of red cars to blue cars in the parking lot was 5 to 3. If there were 40 red cars, how many blue cars were there? So we have red cars to blue cars. So I'm going to put red on top, blue on the bottom. So that means red comes first, so that goes on top. Blue comes second, that goes on the bottom. And this is going to be equal to another fraction because we're going to do a proportion. So it says there were 40 red cars. So that should go on the top or the bottom. If you said the top, you're correct. So now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. And if you do 40 times 3, divide by 5, you should get 24 blue cars. All right, a recipe calls for the ratio of sugar to flour to be 7 to 4. If you use 36 ounces of flour, how much sugar should you use? See if you can do this one. So it's sugar to flour. So S to F. Sugar comes first, so 7 is sugar. Flour second, so 4 is flour. If 36 ounces of flour, should 36 go on the top or the bottom? If you said the bottom, you're correct. Cross multiply and divide, and you should get 63 ounces of sugar. Okay, so there's a recap on equivalent ratios. Now we're going to move to ratio tables, which is very similar, except you're going to be given a table of values, and you're going to be missing a value. You can still cross multiply and divide, okay? So wherever the value's missing, either cover the top to make 4, so it looks like a ratio. So if I was to put equals here, fraction, fraction, or do it up here, fraction, fraction, however you want to do it. So I'm going to use the top. So I'm going to say 3 times 49, divide by 21, and that should give me an answer of 7. If you punch that in your calculator. So you try the next two. Okay, you should have done 65 times 180 divided by 2 to get 195. and 36 times 32, divide by 72 to get 16. Those should be fairly easy. All right, let's flip it over. Now we're going to talk about unit rates and prices. And remember, unit means one. So per bag, for every, however many we're talking about, for each, those are our keywords. So it says Adam went to Food Line and bought 2 bags of chips for $3.94. Amy went to Walmart and bought 3 bags of chips for $4.86. So the first question is, how much should Adam spend per bag of chips? So per bag means I'm asking about one bag. So I should do $3.94 divided by the number of bags Adam bought, because Adam is the one who bought it for $3.94. So all we're going to do is $3.94 divided by the 2 bags he bought, which gives me that Adam spent $1.97 per bag. $3.94 divided by 2. A fraction is division. So now you tell me, how much did Amy spend per bag? You should have done 486 divided by 3, which means Amy spent $1.62 per bag. All right, and see if you can answer this one. So if you put that Adam spent more, you're correct. And then you should have subtracted to see how much more. That means subtract 197 minus 162 to get that Adam spent 35 cents more. Okay? And the next few are just the same, but I will do one with you. Okay, then what I want to do with you is on Tom. So it says Tom drove home from the grocery store. He drove 45 miles per hour. How many miles did he drive in 15 minutes? Okay, so this one's going to be two-stepped. So if he drove 45 miles per hour, but then they're asking me how many miles in 15 minutes, I can't do hours to minutes and compare them like that. They're not the same. But I know how many minutes are in an hour, so I can say per hour would mean it's 45 minutes for 60 minutes, or 45 miles for 60 minutes, because 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So if I do miles over minutes, because my question's about minutes, I'm going to do 45 miles in 1 hour, which is 60 minutes, is how many miles in 15 minutes. Then everything's set up. Cross multiply, divide, and you should get 11.25 miles. Okay? All right, you go ahead and do these two. All right, I did apples to money. I did 8 apples for $2.24. So 10 apples would be how much money? Cross multiply and divide, you get $2.80. I did oranges to money. I did 6 oranges for $2.16. So 1 orange, because each means 1, would be 36 cents. Cross multiplied and divided. Okay? Same process every time. Now, and also I just want to add, as long as you know what you're putting on top and what you're putting on the bottom, you keep it the same and you'll never mess up cross multiply and divide. Alright, and the last thing we've done with ratios is measurement conversions. So remember, this is like a matching game. Keep miles with miles, meters with meters, gallons with gallons, inches with inches, so on and so forth. Okay? Jason ran 4 miles after school. How many kilometers did he run? So in other words, they're saying, how many kilometers is 4 miles? So I'm just going to write that down. 4 miles equals how many kilometers? Well, they give me this conversion, so I'm going to put my miles with miles, kilometers with kilometers. Then I've got a proportion. So cross multiply and divide, and you should get 6.4 kilometers. You go ahead and do the next two. All right, you should have done 2 gallons is how many liters? Well, 1 gallon goes here. 3.8 liters goes here. Cross multiply, divide, 7.6. 30 pounds is how many kilograms? Well, 1 kilogram here. 2.2 pounds. Cross multiply, divide, and you should get 13.64 because I rounded. Okay? And that's all there is to it.